For a while, the strongmen of the Blue Star Civilization agreed to get together, especially the strongmen who came to the Land of Order and stayed in the last 2 or 3 reincarnations, the Glacier Mage of Daxia, Tang Jun, the Master Tuchar of Tianju, and so on. Their private chat channel has never been quiet. Many people asked them about the possible identity of the Blue Star Genius. Not only the strong men of the Blue Star Civilization asked, there were also strong friends from other civilizations they made friends with in the Land of Order. Obviously, everyone believed that the killing of the World Spine by Blue Star this time was definitely achieved by a genius leading a top team. If they knew that the World Spine was killed alone this time, I'm afraid the entire Land of Order will explode. In the group chat channel of the Blue Star Civilization, there are currently more than 300 people in total, more than half of whom are spawning monsters and hunting on other monster planets, and cannot be connected to this channel for the time being. Some of these strong men from the Blue Star Civilization have been in the Land of Order for decades, and some have been here for hundreds of years, and they are older than Qin Wuyu. The stronger ones among them basically serve in the major ancient god temples. Currently, the highest position is only 2 other people, who are at the same level as Qin Wuyu, the temple envoys. All the strong men from Blue Star, because they do not have a strong civilization as a backing, mostly rely on the power of their respective temples when they are in the Land of Order. In addition, these strong men from Blue Star came from different countries during the reincarnation period, and most of them disliked each other, so they naturally rarely communicated on weekdays. Only today, the Blue Star Civilization group chat channel, which had been silent for a long time, finally became lively. All the strongmen from Blue Star were shocked by the news that the Blue Star Civilization killed the first World Spine on the 75th day of this reincarnation. But they discussed for a long time and didn't come to any conclusion. I just heard that Jiaoyang Civilization killed the World Spine in the 5th year, which seems to be the 1952th day. But our Blue Star Civilization, the 75th day, 26 times faster. Ula. I wonder which god is so powerful. I have no idea at all. He can lead the team and kill the World Spine so early? Just like a god of war? No way. Is our Blue Star going to sublimate in this reincarnation? I won't be able to wait until my wife lives to the 9th year. I checked my wife every time. But every time I found out that she had died 9 years ago, why are you pretending to be affectionate? Do you think we don't know that you have 108 women in the Sheiji Civilization? Get lost. Those are just clouds. I love my wife the most. Didn't you see my codename, the Most Affectionate Blue Star? Just look at me and it's over. If it's true love, you should have brought your wife up with you when you came to the Land of Order. In the group chat channel of the Blue Star Civilization, there was a lot of noise for a while. Many of the strong people in this channel are from Daxia, and basically someone can come up every time they reincarnate. In addition to Daxia, most of them are white people from North America and Western countries. In addition, there are a few people from Tianju, Sakura, the Middle East, and Africa who can come to the Land of Order. When these strong people were still on Blue Star, each of them was a powerful existence that could suppress a continent. But after coming to the Land of Order, many people have been just small shrimps for so many years. There are very few people who can make a name for themselves in the temples of the ancient god. And the longer you stay in the Land of Order, the less you know about the original Blue Star country. You should know that some strong people have been in the Land of Order for hundreds of years. In the history of Blue Star, many dynasties have risen and fallen. At this moment, Blue Star, strong people from different countries are discussing and analyzing in the group chat channel the identity of the person who led to kill the World Spine. That must be the genius of our Tianju country. Master Tuchar said in the group chat channel of Blue Star Civilization, Baga, don't fart. No one from our Sakura country has come to the Land of Order for 10 reincarnations. This time it must be the genius of our Sakura country. Do you know what it means to accumulate a lot and then burst out? A very senior Sakura country strongman said lightly. Hearing this, Tangjun said directly, this is a Daxia idiom, and there is a usage you may not know. Hard accumulation and short release is equal to HJBF, which is equal to good JB waste, 10 reincarnations. No one has been able to come to the Land of Order for a full 100 years. You are so FW. As soon as this was said, the strongman from the Sakura country vomited blood on the spot. After discussing it over and over again, they came up with dozens of possible candidates. Since these people are from different reincarnations of Blue Star, the global situation in their reincarnations is very different. So there are still many possible candidates, and they are completely different. The most representative of them are the strongmen who came to the Land of Order twice recently. Because the reincarnations they experience have the least variables compared to the current reincarnation of Blue Star. Therefore, a player who arrived at the Land of Order in the last reincarnation has the most say. That person is a middle-aged man trained by the Daxia military, named Yeju Zhou, codenamed Eliminate Evil, and his profession is the only hidden profession, War General, in the last reincarnation of Blue Star. 4 people came to the Land of Order, 2 of them chose to go back and return to reincarnation, and another shadow died on the monster planet not long ago. So, in the last reincarnation, there is only one Yeju Zhou who is still in the Land of Order, and he joined the Temple of Judgment and is currently an ordinary member of the Temple of Judgment in Yeju Zhou's reincarnation. He can be said to be the pillar of the entire Blue Star Civilization, and even more so, the pillar of Daxia. But now, in the group chat channel of this Land of Order, he has become a newbie. Because he has only been in the Land of Order for less than 3 years. He came to the Land of Order in the 7th year of the Blue Star reincarnation in his previous life. After the Blue Star launched the Sublimation Challenge, he chose to stay in the Land of Order, since he is the only person in the Blue Star civilization who stayed in the Land of Order in the last reincarnation. His opinion is the most referenceable, because there are the least variables. Just after everyone expressed their opinions, many people began to tag him. The War General of Daxia finally said in a deep voice, "If you let me evaluate my evaluation, is that the genius who may lead the team to kill the world spawn, our Daxia's Qinfeng, is also possible." As soon as this came out, everyone in the channel was stunned. An old man from Daxia, who had been in the Land of Order for more than 120 years, frowned and asked, "Qinfeng from Daxia. Is he codenamed Fengzhong Juifeng? I seem to have some impression of him. He is a warrior. Does he have a sister? But in my impression, although his performance is remarkable, there is no sign of him being a demon at all. The strong who can come to the Land of Order must have a spiritual attribute of more than 10 Yalin, and their memory and thinking speed are more than 1,000 times that of ordinary people. So it is normal to remember some things in the reincarnation 100 years ago." A blonde young man from North America sneered, "Impossible. Qinfeng from your great Xiao. I have killed him many times in my reincarnation. He is just a weak chicken." The profession of this young man is Vampire of the Night. He came to the Land of Order more than 70 years ago, and he can be regarded as a senior. Then, the old man from the Sakura country with a very seniority also said with contempt, "Yes, I also remember this person, but he is just an ordinary warrior." But soon, a great Xia woman who had never spoken before, with a seniority older than the Sakura country old man, because this great Xia woman has been in the Land of Order for more than 300 years, longer than Qin Wuyue. At present, her combat power is quite good, and she is challenging the position of the god of the Temple of Death. She looked at the heated discussion in the channel and had no intention of speaking. After all, in her eyes, she was not from the same generation as these people, let alone the same level. But when she heard the name Qinfeng, she was slightly touched, so she said lightly in the channel, "I'll just tell you what I know. This Qinfeng is the younger brother of His Highness Qin Wuyue." There was another sentence she didn't say. That is, she heard that the Blood Source Ancient God's small authority in Qin Wuyue's hand was given by Qinfeng. But Qin Wuyue was also in this group chat, so of course there were some things she couldn't say. She said this sentence just to see Qin Wuyue's reaction. Unfortunately, Qin Wuyue didn't react at all. But the others in the channel, after hearing the words of the great Xia woman, all fell silent. His Highness Qin Wuyue, he is currently one of the strongest people in the Blue Star civilization in the Land of Order. At present, there seem to be many people from the Blue Star civilization in the Land of Order, but there are few strong people who can really come to the fore. And there are even fewer people with minor powers, which can be counted on one hand. This shows Qin Wuyue's status in the Land of Order. These people from Blue Star, even those who are older than Qin Wuyue, have to respectfully address her as Your Highness. And now, it is the first time for many people to know that Qinfeng is actually Qin Wuyue's younger brother. For a while, people started to think about it. At this time, the Glacier Mage from Daxia, Tang Jun, said something. Everyone, although we all don't think Qinfeng is top-notch in our impression. To be honest, in my reincarnation, Qinfeng and his sister were both in the top 100 in the world, so they definitely have potential. And in my reincarnation this time, the system prompted that Qinfeng also got the eyeball of the ancient god, which is likely to be a small authority. But unfortunately, originally, he wanted to say sister who holds back or sister who is useless, but considering that Qin Wuyue was also in the group chat, he omitted the prefix. But to be honest, those people in the group who understand all understand. When Tang Jun said this, Yeju Zhou was immediately curious. What a pity. Tang Jun sighed. What a pity. His sister actually poisoned him and gave his eyeball away. Yeju Zhou, blonde vampire youth, old Sakura country elder, Daxia woman who has been here for more than 300 years. In the Blue Star group chat channel, extremely neat rows of question marks appeared. Tang Jun sighed again, and then said, after Qinfeng died, his sister was imprisoned by the Knights Templar. It is said that the ancient god's eyeball was taken away by Sichuan Poison Sister. I don't know what happened later, because the Sublimation Challenge started. I decided to stay in the Land of Order and didn't go back. But in fact, we can also see that this Qinfeng can catch our eyes every time he reincarnates, which shows that his foundation is not bad. If you say that this time he led the team to kill the World Spine, I personally feel it is reasonable. That being said, people still shook their heads and opposed. Only Yeju Zhou, he has a secret in his heart. It is a secret that only he knows in the current Land of Order. That is, in his reincarnation. That is, in the last life, Qinfeng's performance can be described as shocking. With his sister Qin Xiaoyu, as an ordinary warrior, he was able to get the first kill of gold, the first kill of platinum, the first kill of emerald, the first kill of diamond, the first kill of epic, even the first kill of legend. And he is much ahead of other players. But Yeju Zhou also doesn't know something. Because not long after leading the team to get the first kill of legend, Qinfeng died. Disappeared directly from the ranking list. No one knows who killed him. If the potential of Qinfeng in this reincarnation is the same as my last reincarnation, then it makes sense that he could lead people to kill the world spine so early. Yet Yezhujo does not plan to make this news public for the time being, because he keenly noticed that the current Land of Order has fallen into considerable chaos because of the news that the Blue Star civilization killed the world spine. All the temples are undercurrents. If this news is made public now, the next situation can be fully anticipated. Once the Land of Order believes that the one who led to kill the world spine is the Daxia people, this will allow the Daxia camp in the Land of Order to occupy a great advantage in the next period of time, and even gain a lot of convenience and resources from the temple. But the risk is too great. What if the Blue Star civilization sublimates by then and finds out that the genius is not Qinfeng? What if that person suddenly died inexplicably after killing a world spine, just like Qinfeng in the previous life? At that time, all the conveniences and benefits they enjoy will be backfired. Waiting and watching is the most stable and safest way. Based on the information revealed by Yezhujo, people will not speculate too much about Qinfeng, but it will also prevent the Daxia camp from falling into too much disadvantage in this guessing identity contest. Everything, just keep a balance. As for everything in the Land of Order, everyone on Blue Star is naturally unaware of it. When Qinfeng used the Hand of Greed to touch the extra reward, he checked the system prompt and found that 2 seconds before he killed the world spine. C. A killing prompt of the epic boss, Skyfalling Divine Bull Muli Muli just jumped. Unfortunately, this prompt only lasted for 2 seconds before it was wiped out by the system prompt of Qinfeng killing the mythical boss. The top team of Daxia, who had just spent a day and a night trying to figure out the mechanism, preparing many drugs and restraining equipment, were all in a state of dumbfoundedness. They wanted to cry but had no tears. They thought that after Shadow, the first kill of the epic boss would make their codename known all over the world. But the system prompt only lasted for 2 seconds and was flooded with the prompt of Shadow killing the mythical boss. The mythical boss, the first kill, and it was a strange boss name called World Spine C. This made the global players of Blue Star fall into an unprecedented shock. Of course, compared with the shock of the Land of Order, the shock of the Blue Star players was not so exaggerated after all. The players of Blue Star now don't know what it means to kill the World Spine 2.5 months after the launch. They don't even know what the World Spine is. They only know. When Shadow killed the mythical World Spine C, the system immediately sent a prompt to everyone. The first World Spine was killed. The progress of Blue Star civilization is accelerating. The second desolation spread will come within 7 days. Please be prepared. Desolation spread. The first desolation spread. The global death toll reached hundreds of millions, and that disaster still remains in the minds of many people. And this time, because Qinfeng killed the world spine. The second desolation spread is coming directly. This caused countless people around the world to fall into panic. But the Daxia official quickly spread a message from top to bottom through the recently built pyramid-shaped network information dissemination structure at the fastest speed. This second wasteland spread will not bring more changes except for speeding up the flow of time in some areas. The reason why the first wasteland spread was disastrous was that it caused the monsters in the godforsaken game to be connected to reality, catching countless people off guard. But this time, people are prepared and have long been accustomed to the environment with monsters in reality. And for Qinfeng, this is naturally a good thing for him. The second wasteland spread was a year after the godforsaken game came. After this wasteland spread, there began to be mythical boss refreshes, although the refresh frequency is still not high. At least the level of the mythical boss is level 40, and the equipment level can barely keep up with my current development progress. In addition, there is another thing that makes Qinfeng a little uncomfortable, which is a prompt that only he can hear. That is, the second world spine has not been refreshed yet. It will only be refreshed after the second wasteland spread ends. This makes it impossible for Qinfeng to deal with the second world spine non-stop, but it doesn't have much impact. I'll go to the Abyss World to brush things during this period. In addition, the harvest this time. Qinfeng glanced at his greedy space. I can only say that it is rich due to the existence of the greedy hand. The loot Qinfeng got from killing a mythical boss is equivalent to other people killing 20 to 30 ancient boss. This explosion rate is no different from cheating. Ancient assassin equipment. Finally here! And there is also an ancient assassin skill book, and it is a divine stunt. In addition to the ancient equipment, there is also a terrifying thing. There are more than 100 mythical loot alone. Under normal explosion rate, a mythical boss will only drop 1 to 2 mythical loot and 5 legendary loot. But in Qinfeng's case, there are 37 ancient loot and 123 mythical loot. The current Hand of Greed is ancient. It is temporarily impossible to synthesize ancient items into immortal items, but to evolve the Hand of Greed again, you need 890,000 evolution points. Seeing this evolution point requirement, Qinfeng had a headache, because he had just killed the mythical world spine. The basic evolution points he obtained were only 400 points, counting the extra evolution points from the Hand of Greed. The total was less than 70. This made his evolution points exceed 200. With only this few evolution points, it is almost impossible to accumulate enough to evolve the Hand of Greed. It's better to go to the Abyss World, find the Abyss Shrine, and turn the Hand of Greed into the Abyss, and upgrade it by 1 level. As for these evolution points, I can finally evolve the Hand of Robbery. The rest can be used for this ancient divine stun. Qin Feng looked at the most important trophies of this operation in the greedy space. The Mercy of the Goddess of Death Ancient. Assassin Divine Stun. Consume 40 points of divinity, and enter the Mercy of Death state after activation, which lasts for 60 seconds. During this period, your weapon is endowed with the power of death, and any attack will add death poison to the target, causing 207% of the attack damage per second for 8 seconds, which can be stacked infinitely. Required level 30. Passive. Death poisons damage, damage ignores shield, and ignores the target's injury limit. Ancient level Divine Stun. 40 points of divinity are activated, adding the poison damage of death poison. The total damage of its toxin alone has reached 1656% of the damage of a single attack, which has surpassed the throat-cutting effect provided by the immortal level Gift of Liberation. The throat-cutting effect lasts for 3 seconds, and the continuous damage is 500%, which is not as good as this ancient level Divine Stun. What's more, the reason why this Divine Stun is a Divine Stun is that it also comes with a special effect. The damage of the death poison ignores the target's injury limit. With this skill, it is equivalent to destroying the opponent's high-level attribute. Qin Feng was a little shocked. Moreover, as a Divine Stun, it consumes 40 points of divinity to release. The effect of this death poison cannot be dispelled by ordinary means. If it's just throat slashing, opponents of the same level as me will definitely be able to dispel the throat slashing damage directly, then my damage will be reduced by 20 to 30 times. But if I activate the Mercy of the Goddess of Death, only divine weapons or divine special skills that consume more than 40 points of divinity can dispel it. The output of dispelling divine weapons and divine special skills is very small. Even those with stronger overall strength than me are unlikely to have such skills. Evolve directly, since it is an initial ancient level skill. To evolve to the immortal level, even if it is the first evolution, it also requires 1 in 1,000 basic evolution points. In addition, since it is a divine special skill, it needs to consume an additional 324 times the evolution points, and the total consumption is 63245 points. After these evolution points are consumed, the remaining ones are just enough to evolve into the Robbery Master, and then there will be no drop left. When the Death Goddess's Mercy evolved to the Immortal level, Qin Feng looked at the attribute changes. Ancient level arrive, Immortal level. Death God's Mercy, state duration, 60 seconds arrive, 180 seconds. Death poison damage per second, 207% arrive, 385%. Immortal level new special effect. Passive effect, even when not in the Death God's Mercy state. It can cause 67% poison damage per second, and increase damage to poisoned units by 80%. It's a perverted improvement. Even without this Divine Stunt, Qin Feng's final damage has more than doubled. If this Divine Stunt is turned on, his damage can be increased by 2 or 3 times. And ignore all shields and injury limits. Invincible. Then, it was an ancient assassin equipment, a pair of top-grade ice skates. Please forgive me for taking a day off on the 11th due to an emergency. World Ice Ridge Boots Ancient. Movement speed plus 7 Ms. Movement speed plus 167%. Control resistance plus 2 to 8%. All attributes plus 499. Damage reduction 46. 8%. Passive. Immune to all ice attribute control. Required level 40. Special. Inviolability upper level 2 as you take. And additionally reduce the accumulation speed of the upper affix scale by 54%. Special effect. Frost Spine. Each of your attacks will additionally weaken the target's inviolability, and the weakening value is your own inviolability upper limit value, 9%. This is a pair of top quality boots that take into account both defense and attack. The Ancient Grade itself gives it super high basic attributes and faster movement speed. After putting on this pair of World Ice Ridge boots, Qin Feng's maximum movement speed reached 2,008 meters per second, and the flying speed was 2,952 meters per second. This speed is more than twice the speed of sound than before. Qin Feng's damage reduction increased from the original 99, 43% to 99, 69%, which is equivalent to reducing the final damage by about half. As for the key to its basic attributes, it is still the control resistance. In the game of Godforsaken, there are 2 corresponding attributes. One is control strength, and the other is control resistance. The 2 are calculated in a similar way to the dodge and hit algorithm, and they will cancel each other out. In terms of control strength, if the target does not have the inviolable affix, then the higher the control strength, the longer the control effect and control time on the target. If the target has inviolable, then the higher the control strength. The more inviolable the target can be reduced. In terms of control resistance, why is it difficult for Monster Boss to be controlled? It is because the control resistance of Boss is very high. In addition, the calculation of control strength and resistance will also be affected by the skill grade. The higher the level of Boss, the stronger the control resistance to low-grade skills. It can be said that the higher the control resistance, the less likely it is to be controlled. According to this rule, it is conceivable that the higher the control resistance, the slower the speed at which the inviolable affix is reduced. 228% control resistance is equivalent to increasing Qinfeng's 228% inviolable affix. Before in the Abyss world, I was besieged by so many people, and my more than 800 points of inviolable affix could not resist for long. But now it's different. If his effective inviolability was only more than 800 points, then now, counting the inviolability and control resistance of this pair of shoes, his effective inviolability has exceeded 7,200 points. This improvement seems incredible. Just looking at the attributes of this pair of shoes, it is impossible to have such an explosive improvement. But you have to know that Qinfeng has a bonus to the inviolable affix. What was the original inviolability of Qinfeng? Only 120 points on the Ascension machine, plus 15 points from the Soul Devourer bloodline. A total of 135 points. Only 135 points of inviolability can be increased to more than 800. So, this pair of shoes adds 216 points of inviolability. After various addition, how much can his inviolability be increased? The answer is Qinfeng's final inviolability affix reached 297 to 8 points. Counting the effect of control resistance, it is equivalent to more than 7,200 effective inviolability. Of course, compared with the real 7,200 points, it is definitely not as fast in terms of recovery, but it is already quite good. The source of the upper level. Increase all upper resistance by 150%. The inviolability affix is also included. The cursed slate of the extremely beloved goddess Elenas, attached to the Ascension machine, increases the inviolability by another 114%. There is also a 17% total increase in inviolability on the Ascension machine special effect. The three combined together are simply invincible. If Qinfeng could only hold on for 10 seconds in the ruins of the Demon City in the Abyss world before, then now he can hold on for at least 3 minutes, because the upper limit of this inviolability has been increased. His inviolability recovery speed will also be increased. The basic recovery speed of this affix is 1% per second. If the inviolability affix is cleared, there will be a certain period of time when the recovery stops. The higher the inviolability affix, the shorter the recovery time. Originally, Qinfeng recovered 8 points per second. Now he recovers nearly 22 points per second. In addition to the slippery effect of the shoe order, Qinfeng's recovery speed will increase tenfold as long as he is in a moving state. That is 42 points per second. Now Qinfeng's inviolability recovery per second has reached the total amount before. 1/4, even in some cities in the Abyss world where monsters gather, as long as there are no strong ones, I can always swim like a dragon. When others attack Qinfeng, the inviolability deducted is not as much as Qinfeng's natural recovery per second, unless you encounter a guy like Brother Beidou, who continuously controls the strength to the maximum. There will be a risk of breaking the inviolability, and these are just the defensive attributes of this pair of World Ice Spine boots. The most terrifying thing about this pair of shoes is its attached special effects, Frost Spine Breaker. Each attack breaks part of the target's inviolability affix, and the higher your own inviolability, the more inviolability is broken. According to my current inviolability, every time I attack, I can break the opponent's 197 inviolability. 1,000 Blade Breaker has nearly 300 attacks, which is nearly 60 bullet inviolability. Qinfeng was dumbfounded. The equipment dropped by the World Spine is so terrifying. In his previous life, he had seen ancient equipment, but none of them were so exaggerated. Even if it's a mythical boss, I can directly reduce its inviolability with a few consecutive 1,000 blade breaks, and then use the Silence Curse and Slowness Curse to turn the boss into a fool. Other people's control skills don't have this effect. After all, the control resistance of boss is very high, especially for mythical boss. Other players' control will have almost no effect, but the key is that Qinfeng's Silence Curse and Slowness Curse are both ancient skilled under the suppression of the grade. The control effect is still quite good, even if it can only control for a few seconds. It is also very important in the current stage of the battle. If these curse skills can be evolved to the immortal level, the effect will be even better. The mercy of the goddess of death, the World Ice Spine boots. I have become stronger again. Qinfeng studied and replaced equipment separately. And then, he took out the stripping stone, the order stone, and the strengthening stone, and directly forged the World Ice Spine boots. The stripping stone stripped the special effects originally attached to the mythical shoes of Anzheim Death Terror, and transferred them to the World Ice Spine boots. The special effect is Despicable Thorn from Sneak Sniper Boots Legendary, which passively increases the back attack damage by 218%. The special effect has been strengthened. As for the original special effect of the Death Terror, it removes 6% of the attacker's inviolability affixes every time it is attacked. This special effect is actually not bad, but it is much worse than Frost Spine. Give these shoes to the Ghost. Now that the Ghost has reached level 30, the equipment that Qinfeng has replaced can be thrown to her, which makes her combat power increase rapidly. At present, when Qinfeng does not need to be in the sea to gather mermaids to level up monsters, he naturally returns to the Shadow Guild. That's why he can use the many facilities in the hideout of the Evil Spirit Academy. Qinfeng was too lazy to wait for the ghost to come back, so he threw the shoes directly into the storage box and told the girl to come back and get them when she is free. Next, it is to strengthen the World Ice Ridge boots. Qinfeng used more than 10 strengthening stones before he finally strengthened the item he wanted. Control resistance. Plaid 228%, Arrive 277%. Strengthening range 240% to 280%. The reason for strengthening this is that Qinfeng has only this control resistance in his body, so who else can strengthen it? As for movement speed, all attributes, damage reduction, etc. Other equipment also have them, and the improvement rate is very small after strengthening. In addition, this pair of shoes is passively immune to all ice attribute control. So now, the control effects of ice and thunder attributes are completely ineffective against me. Next, Qinfeng went to find Sister Yuan again. This time, the World Spine exploded more equipment than before, and the grade was higher if some of the useless equipment was exploded. The equipment points would be more, and more special effects could be enhanced. Soon, Qinfeng came to the room of the out-of-group fairy Yuan. He found that she was sleeping on her side on the bed, with a lazy posture, and her long legs were looming under the black robe. When Qinfeng came in, she reacted instantly and stood up, so fast that even Qinfeng couldn't see it clearly. It must be said that her vigilance was extremely high. When she found out that it was Qinfeng, she was relieved. Qinfeng said helplessly, "Don't be so nervous in the future. There is no one else in my hiding place except me. All other NPCs are on the ground." There was a hint of playfulness in the purple eyes of the fairy Yuan. "Do you think your sister doesn't know that you have a little lolly?" Qinfeng was surprised. "Little lolly? Which one are you talking about?" After saying this, the enchanting fairy was stunned. "Ah, there is more than one." Now it was Qinfeng's turn to be surprised. Ghost, Aishaxi. Both of them can move in the underground area of the hiding place, but from what the fairy said, she only knew one of them. It must be the ghost. Qinfeng was extremely surprised. The existence of Aishaxi, can't this fairy feel it? He didn't think much about it. He coughed and said, "It's okay. Don't worry about the loli. She won't run around. Let me see the equipment this time." And Feng threw all the equipment exploded by the world spine in front of the fairy. When the fairy sister saw this batch of equipment, her face was obviously a little surprised. These equipment, there are also ancient level ones. How did you do it, brother? In such a short time, you got so many equipment. Qinfeng smiled. Guess the fairy naturally couldn't guess that Qinfeng's explosion rate when killing boss was so high, but she was very experienced. After a little thought, she asked with interest, "Do you have a talent for synthesizing equipment? As long as there are a lot of equipment, you can synthesize it all the time. But this kind of talent requires a lot of resources. In addition to low-grade equipment, it also requires a lot of special material. How many people work for you outside?" The fairy's guess can be said to be quite bold. Even the talent she said, which can synthesize equipment all the time, is already an extremely terrifying talent. But what she didn't know was Qinfeng's talent is more outrageous than she imagined. 20 times the explosion rate? Equipment synthesis. This is just one of the abilities brought by Qinfeng's talent. Qinfeng did not comment on her guess. Of course, she didn't say much, and her hands were not idle. She picked up a pair of ancient level frost trousers and put them on. When she put on these trousers, her long legs looked like they were wearing ice stockings, and they were emitting snow-white cold air, as expected of ancient level equipment. It has powerful attributes and a good appearance. This is mage equipment. Break! Qinfeng activated the divine rule of ruthless crushing and began to throw shadow blades to attack the equipment on Yuan. Hey! Be gentle. Before, every time Qinfeng came to explode her equipment, he would just randomly fire shadow blades, which was no threat to her at all. But now Qinfeng only fired a shadow blade, and the fairy actually lost blood. In addition to causing damage to the ancient level pants, Qinfeng's shadow blade also caused 17 island damage to the fairy itself. You know, before. Qinfeng's damage couldn't break her defense. But, looking at the health bar displayed above the goblin's head, Qinfeng felt a little annoyed. No, it's only 17. Wooden damage? Your health bar didn't even move, and you're already crying out in pain. The beautiful fairy in the purple smoke had a face full of resentment. I have 21, Xiaozhen damage resistance, and 700 times total damage reduction. And you can break the defense, Qinfeng sighed. Alas, I have said long ago that I am very powerful. You have to bear with it. The fairy sister curled her lips. I won't. Change your skills and use your previous skill that can slash hundreds of times in an instant. I can defend this. There is no way. After all, she is one of us, and Qinfeng doesn't want her to get hurt. So he changed his skills and used Thousand Blade Break to output, because the single damage of Thousand Blade Break was low, and Qinfeng didn't have invisibility and back attack. He finally failed to break her defense. It seems that my combat power is gradually catching up with her. If I am invisible and back attack, how much damage can I deal to her? Hanfeng was still quite curious, but now is obviously not the time to be curious. After all, he is consuming his life every moment when he opens the Ruthless Smash, so he smashed all the equipment that needed to be smashed at the fastest speed. Fairy Sister also understood him very well. Every time Qinfeng finished attacking, she would use skills to force out of the combat state. Only in this way could she change to other equipment as quickly as possible and save time for Qin Feng. But it was a pity. The equipment points obtained from the smashed equipment this time were all used by Qin Feng to strengthen the special effects of the World Ice Ridge boots. The original inviolability value broken by the attack was 9% of the upper limit of its own inviolability. After strengthening, it reached 13, 2% strengthening range 10, 8% 10, 4%, because it is an ancient level equipment. A lot of equipment points are required for special effects strengthening. Qin Feng is not very satisfied with this value, but unfortunately, the equipment points have been used up, so he can only wait for the next opportunity. When this batch of equipment was processed, Qin Feng turned off the Ruthless Crushing State. Then he activated the Abyss Gazing Curse and looked at the Queen Fairy and the purple smoke in front of him and found that the ancient level Abyss Gazing Curse couldn't see through her. The fairy glanced at him and smiled with interest. "Little brother, if you want to see your sister naked, just tell her. What's the point of being sneaky?" Qin Feng. It seems that the ancient level skill level is not too high, and it needs to continue to evolve. When Qin Feng left the fairy's room, he was already refreshed, but before leaving, the fairy said to him with emotion, "According to your current development speed, it won't be long before you have to strip naked before entering the door. Otherwise, I can't bear your harm." Qin Feng. "Okay, then I'll strip naked next time." The fairy's mouth curled up. "Are you teasing my sister?" Qin Feng chuckled. "You teased me first?" He knew that the fairy meant for him to strip naked, so that the damage would be low and he wouldn't be afraid of hurting her. But if the damage is too low, it will take longer to crush the equipment. So you have to strike a balance. Soon, Qin Feng came to the ground area of the Evil Spirit Academy. He found Big Eyes and asked for information about the Second World Spine. He soon learned that the Second World Spine was located in the game area corresponding to the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. Qin Feng was a little surprised. He guessed that the Second World Spine would not be a mountain, a sea, a mountain. This world spine is interesting. I wonder what the three behind it will be. Of course, if I go there now, the boss has not refreshed yet. I can only wait until the second wasteland spread ends before I can go there. The next step is to upgrade the important skill that Qin Feng has been thinking about, the Sword of Robbery. In addition to accumulating enough evolution points to evolve it from the mythical level to the ancient level. You can also spend some life to upgrade it from level 20 to level 40. So Qin Feng found the NPC in the ground area of the Evil Spirit Academy, the thief St. William Scott. It should be said that the Skydome Guild also built a courtyard for him in this area. Not only him, but also Big Eyes and the Evil Voice Ghost have their own territories, and their lives are quite good. When Qin Feng came to the Sword of Robbery courtyard, the guy with 8 arms was trading with several players. It was Wan Yeweiyu, who represented the official Da Xia, who came to buy the Sword of Robbery talisman and upgrade the Sword of Robbery, by the way. Asa Beauty, you are now level 25. Why don't you upgrade your skills to level 25? Look, from level 24 to level 25. It only takes 500 years of life, but you can get 10 more attributes, which is a great deal. The 8-armed thief Saint was tirelessly promoting. As a result, Wan Yeweiyu was completely unmoved. Level 25 Thief Master. A total of 250 attributes. Do I look like a fool? Wait until I am level 26. At this time, Qin Feng entered the courtyard. Hearing their conversation, I still felt a little emotional. This Thief Master was originally a low-quality skill, even if it was upgraded to level 50. It could only provide 500 attributes at most. If divided into 4-dimensional attributes, each of them would only have 125 points. For ordinary people, this improvement is considerable. But for Qin Feng, it is simply unbearable to look at. Fortunately, after Qin Feng's skill evolved, the attributes added were terrifying. It's the Shadow God. When Qin Feng walked in, Wan Yeweiyu and several official members behind her looked a little happy. They hadn't seen Qin Feng for a while. The god also came to upgrade the level of the Robber Saint. Wan Yeweiyu was quite envious. You are now level 40, and this skill can provide a total of 400 attributes, which is so cool. Qin Feng didn't know how to respond to the girl's words. If I told her that 400 attributes were too few, would she think it was Versailles? Qin Feng greeted her, then clicked on the service panel of the thief St. William Scott and started to upgrade the skills from level 20 to level 40. A total of 61,000 years of life are required, 50% of which is return, and the final consumption is 500 years. In the past, so much life was a lot for Qin Feng, but now it doesn't matter. After all, he has built pig farms all over the world, and the compensations from North America and Sakura country have all been received, which has brought his current tradable lifespan to 559,000 years. After using up these 30,000 years, there are still nearly 530,000 years left. Then, Qin Feng consumed another 24,000 evolution points to evolve this skill. Stolen Hand of Arriven. Grade. Mythical Arrive Ancient. Stealing attribute points each time you use it. Arrive 10 points. The upper limit of stealable attribute points is 3,000, Arrive 9,000. Hunfeng took a look and was quite satisfied with the improvement effect. One hand can steal 9 attribute points, and two hands can steal 18 attribute points. On average, it is equivalent to 450 in the 4-dimensional attribute. 0 points for all attributes. Originally, this skill only provided me with about 1,500 4-dimensional attributes, a total of 6,000 points. Now it is 4,500 points for each attribute, a total of 18,000 points. Wanya Weiyu thought that Qinfeng could only increase 400 points of attributes with this skill, and she was still envious. If she knew that Qinfeng could steal 18,000 points of attributes with this skill, she would probably go crazy. Of course, when the Stealing Saint hand evolved to the Ancient level, it unlocked a very amazing effect. New effect of the Ancient level. This skill can be used repeatedly on the same target, but every 10 times it is used on the same target. The effect is reduced by 10% of the current one calculated separately for both hands. Note: the single attribute value of the target will not be less than 10 points. Can be used repeatedly on the same target. You should know that the effect of this skill is to steal attributes permanently, and you can steal 10 points each time you use it. Although the effect will be reduced if you use it 100 times on the same person. You can steal about 650 of the opponent's attributes. The two hands add up to 300 points. The weakening of 300 attributes is equivalent to losing 1 or 2 mythical equipment for the current Blue Star players. Once they are targeted by Qinfeng's stealing, they will be completely wiped out in a short time. Only 10 points of the whole body attribute are left, which is no different from an ordinary person. And according to Qinfeng's previous research, the effect of this skill is synchronized in reality and the game. If it is stolen in the game, it will also be stolen in reality. Even this method is extremely disgusting even for the strong in the Land of Order. Unless the opponent has some special defensive divine rule, it can't resist it at all. And who wouldn't feel disgusted if 300 attributes were deducted inexplicably? What's more, Qinfeng can steal infinitely. Although the effect is getting weaker and weaker, it will never return to 0. And this skill can continue to evolve after evolution. The more attributes stolen at a time, the more disgusting it is to the enemy. At this time, Qinfeng felt a little regretful. This skill is really powerful for the 8-armed royal family of the Star Pirates. It's a pity that Qinfeng only has 2 hands, and it has only twice the effect. If he had 8 hands, wouldn't he steal the Land of Order? Of course, that's all. Even if there is a way to give Qinfeng more arms, Qinfeng will definitely refuse. After all, this ability is not Qinfeng's core ability. There is no need to be a human for this skill. When Qinfeng looked at this upgraded and evolved skill, he couldn't help but want to try the effect of this skill. Just in time, Wanya Weiyu was right next to him, and suddenly said, "Master, I just received a message. We have found the results of the investigation you asked us to do about the situation of the players from Coconut Country and Haicheng. As you expected, someone in our company really contacted the players from Coconut Country and wanted them to kill the 2-headed phoenix. We have found the culprit, Yun Jianyue from Haicheng." Speaking of this, Wanya Weiyu felt a little guilty. "I'm sorry, Master, we wanted to make the best use of her before, so we asked the Soul Collector to collect her soul and control her. I didn't expect her to do such a thing and disturb the Master. Yun Jianyu has been imprisoned now. As long as the Soul Collector Miss Luo in Kyoto has a thought, she can be killed. However, let's ask the Master for his opinion on how to deal with her." Qinfeng was a little surprised to hear this news. Isn't the test subject of the new robbery master here? In addition, Qinfeng switched perspectives and observed that his abyss puppet had already crossed the sea with the 2-headed phoenix, Ludicil, and approached the islands of the Coconut Country. Back, normal updates resumed. Weinfeng asked Wanya Weiyu to arrange for him to meet Yun Jianyue. Qinfeng planned to deal with this person himself. Then, Wanya Weiyu began to make arrangements and notify Kyoto. Qinfeng shifted his perspective to the abyss puppet, which was already close to the Coconut Country game area. Behind the puppet was the 45th level epic boss, Chaos Birth, Double Phoenix, and 1 Lutixure. This 2-headed phoenix burning with black and red flames is about to descend on her hunting ground, Coconut Country. Qinfeng's abyss puppet, with its death wings spread out behind it, moved towards the huge archipelago in front like an angel of death in order to let Lutixure see it. The puppet did not become invisible. At present, the puppet is flying over the sea, with waves rolling around it. From time to time, some aerial monsters fly over to provoke and are shot through by shadow blades on the spot. It has flown for tens of thousands of kilometers. From this, it can be seen how difficult it is to cross the national game area in the godforsaken game. Even in the late game, there are very few players who can do this, and most of them rely on the existence of the teleportation array. It is just more than 10 kilometers in front of the abyss puppet, due to the gray fog on the sea surface. It is not clear to the naked eye, but through the Umbra perception, Qinfeng can perceive that it is the ruins of Lavig that belongs to the Coconut Country game area. This is a coastal city in the north of Coconut Country. It is considered a weak city in the current Coconut Country, but through the chats of players in this ruin, Qinfeng can still understand the overall situation of Coconut Country. The strongest players in Coconut Country are currently 3 men and 1 woman, known as the 4 King Kong. They have all reached level 25 and have advanced their professions 3 times. 2 are in the ruins of the capital Manila, 1 is in the ruins of Cebu, and 1 is in the ruins of Luzon. There are many conflicts and contradictions among the 4 King Kongs, mainly a man and a woman in the capital, and their gangs fight each other. The general situation did not move Qin Feng at all. But soon, Qin Feng heard a piece of news that surprised him from some powerful people in the ruins of Lavagur, the ruin of the ancient god of calamity. The 2 King Kongs in the ruins of Manila have each obtained 1, and now they are fighting for the 3rd rune of the ancient god of calamity and a ruin of the ancient god of calamity. Qin Feng was happy to hear this news. Originally, Qin Feng just used this place as a hunting ground to increase his life income while improving Lutigshire. But he didn't expect that there would be such an unexpected gain. The rune of the god of bones allowed me to gain a 90% damage reduction by challenging the ranking. If the 3 runes of the ancient god of calamity are collected, wouldn't it be possible to rush again? Qin Feng knew. The results of the Ancient God Tomb Challenge are real-time dynamic, so as long as he completes the challenge and gets the 1st place, the players in the Land of Order will know, and even the players in the Supreme Heaven will know. According to the current situation, if Qin Feng keeps collecting Ancient God runes and then participates in the tomb challenges of the Ancient Gods, the Land of Order will soon learn that a terrifying strongman is rapidly becoming stronger. But this doesn't matter to Qin Feng. And he already knows that the killing of the World Spine will send a system prompt to the Land of Order. But it doesn't matter. It has to be Ashasi who arranged everything for me. Until then, Qin Feng realized how foresighted Ashasi's arrangement was. If the portal to the Yulin civilization was not open for him, the entire Blue Star civilization would be in great danger. Even Qin Feng, with his current combat power, should have been able to go to the Land of Order. After all, Hein Feng is now likely to be able to clear the Pure Holy Monument, the Well of Souls, the Courtyard of Judgment, etc. The branches of the Land of Order temples located in various parts of the Blue Star game area. As long as he clears the customs, he can reach the Land of Order. But it's too dangerous to go from Blue Star to the Land of Order now. After all, Blue Star has only been reincarnated for less than 3 months. Going to the Land of Order at this time will definitely attract the attention of countless people, including Qin Weiyue. This will bring great safety risks to Qin Feng's development. But now, Qin Feng only needs to go through the Yulin civilization to quietly avoid Qin Weiyue and avoid the attention of many bigwigs in the Land of Order. I don't know what kind of attribute rewards will be given for the challenge of the Tomb of the Ancient God of Natural Disasters. Qin Feng was quite curious. He has only received 1 such reward so far, which is the 90% damage reduction of the God of Skeletons. In the previous life, he only heard that the master of Tianju country Charles, through the challenge of the pure ancient god, obtained a cooling speed of more than 200%. Of course, such a cooling speed is completely incomparable to Qin Feng's 90% damage reduction. You should know that at present, when Qin Feng stacks up the Overload Thunder, the cooling speed is more than 2000%. As for the previous Death Goddess Faith Temple, although there is also a ranking, it is different from the reincarnation gain of this type of tomb challenge. The temple originally appeared under special conditions, not the ancient god tomb fixed in a certain area, so the ranking rules and rewards are different, thanks to the King Kong of Coconut Country. In this case, wait for the 2 King Kongs, 1 man and 1 woman, to come out of the ruins of the natural disaster, ancient god. Go and have a good chat with them about buying the natural disaster runes in their hands, Qin Feng thought lightly. It doesn't matter if the other party disagrees. Qin Feng has a way to force the other party to agree. Besides, Han Feng is willing to talk to the other party about buying. Of course, $0 purchases are also purchases. No one should object to this. Soon, Hein Feng's Abyss Puppet had already brought Lutahil to the sky above the Coconut Country game area. Let this epic boss representing chaos officially descend on their hunting ground. In this way, the Abyss Puppet's mission was completed. The gift to the Coconut Country has been delivered, and I am also very satisfied with the welcome gift they gave me. As for the Abyss Puppet, you can assign it to the Abyss World to kill monsters. Qin Feng was looking forward to it. He greeted Wanya Weiyu first and asked her to notify him when she was ready. He spread his death wings and flew directly to the wilderness outside the ruins of the Demon City. After flying for more than a minute, Qin Feng had arrived more than 200 kilometers outside the ruins of the Demon City. Switch, Abyss World. With the Abyss Bracelet, Qin Feng directly entered the Abyss World, and layers of gray fog enveloped him again. This is a lifeless and dead world. The corpses of players, like zombies, became monsters here, wandering aimlessly. Sure enough, there are not many people in the wild. Let the puppet spawn monsters here first. When the first Abyss Shrine comes out, we can take off completely. Hein Feng summoned the Abyss Puppet from a long distance to his side. Since the Abyss Puppet is an Abyss skill, it can be used in the Abyss World and summoned to your side at any time. Unfortunately, the Abyss Puppet itself does not have an Abyss Bracelet on its wrist. This is a function that only exists in Qin Feng's main body, so there is no way to let the Abyss Puppet switch to the Abyss World by itself. Qin Feng can only come in first and then summon the puppet. There are several wandering corpses of more than 30 level Abyss players not far away. Qin Feng controls the Abyss Puppet and attacks directly. I can leave by myself. Qin Feng uses the bracelet to switch worlds, left the Abyss World. His mind is multitasking. and he always controls the Abyss Puppet to spawn monsters in the Abyss world. After all, it is a puppet, not a pet or something. It has no thoughts of its own and can only act according to Qin Feng's orders. And the actions of the monsters in the Abyss world are irregular and cannot be simply assigned, so it can only be spent on thinking. Fortunately, because Qin Feng's spiritual attribute is high enough, it does not affect his main body's actions at all. After finishing it, Qin Feng took out the teleportation stone and used it to return to the Evil Spirit Academy in the ruins of the Demon City. He had originally planned to go to Kyoto to deal with Yun Jianyue. As a result, he had just returned when he saw Wanye Weiyu and her men, who seemed to be in a hurry and walked out quickly. What happened? Qin Feng was a little surprised and sent a private message to Wanye Weiyu. Wanye Weiyu was wearing a set of diamond-level tight leather armor. As a shooter, she was very agile and fast. She was in a hurry to get on the road, but after receiving Qin Feng's private message, she stopped immediately, and a solemn look appeared on her pretty face. Master, something happened in Kyoto. An unidentified strongman suddenly attacked one of our official hideouts. The situation is a bit urgent. Hearing this, Qin Feng was stunned. A strong man. Wanye Weiyu replied in a private message. I don't know the specific situation at the moment, but because it was done in reality, there is no system prompt. At present, we only know that the other party's invisibility level is very high. We can't find it. And the damage to the defensive barrier of the hideout is extremely high. If it is one person, then the other party's strength is stronger than anyone in our Daxia except you. But it may also be a group of people. If it is a group of people, then the other party can be invisible at a high level, which is also terrible. Qin Feng understood after hearing this. In reality, in Kyoto, a mysterious strong man suddenly attacked the official defensive barrier of Daxia. The opponent's stealth level is very high. It is not clear whether it is one person or multiple people, but the damage to the defensive barrier of the hiding place is very high. The current situation should be in a stalemate. The opponent attacks the defensive barrier, and then the official guild consumes life and replenishes the durability of the defensive barrier. Generally speaking, during this kind of strong attack, the defender can use the advantages of the defensive barrier to counterattack the attacker, which requires extremely high strength from the attacker. But the opponent is completely invisible. When no one can find the opponent's advantage becomes huge. Of course, Qin Feng has never heard of any other means that can make a person's attack trajectory invisible. So the opponent's attack must also have a trajectory. With the attack trajectory, a long-range counterattack can be launched from the defensive barrier, but the efficiency will not be particularly high. Which guild was attacked? Qin Feng asked. Wanye Weiyu quickly replied, it is the Great Xia Dragon Group. This guild is a special action guild that includes special professions such as soul collectors and soul searchers. By the way, Yun Jianyue is temporarily imprisoned in the guild's hideout. However, due to the emergency situation and her strong flame elementalist, she was temporarily released to help resist the enemy. At present, she has laid a layer of sea of fire outside the defensive barrier, and no one will attack the direction she is defending for the time being. Qin Feng was a little confused when he heard this. He asked, did you release her on your own initiative? Wanye Weiyu, I have that intention, but it's mainly because Yun Jianyue applied for it. She said she is willing to make meritorious contributions while serving her sentence. Hearing this, Qin Feng sneered. In my opinion, this attack is inseparable from her. I'm afraid she has a bigger support behind her, so I'll go to Kyoto now. After saying this, Qin Feng paused and added, don't tell anyone about my departure for the time being. Wanye Weiyu immediately replied respectfully, yes, master, I understand. Then she was a little worried. But according to the current situation, their life reserve may only last for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, the defensive barrier will be broken. You may not be able to make it from the Magic City. 5 minutes. Qin Feng smiled faintly. It's enough. Under normal circumstances, the distance between the real Magic City and Kyoto is more than 1,000 kilometers. Even at Qin Feng's fastest speed of 9 times the speed of sound, it takes nearly 6 minutes to get there. But no one knows, now that Osiris has been promoted to the mythical level. After sacrificing all his minions, the maximum speed that can be burst out instantly has reached 4896 meters per second. Of course, this uses a special method. That is, to block 12 minions, because Osiris' cooldown for summoning Bonesword Pterosaur is 3600 seconds. That is, 1 hour. 12 Bonesword Pterosaur minions can be summoned each time, and the existence time of Bonesword Pterosaur minions is unlimited, although there can only be 12 minions at the same time. But the new skill unlocked by Osiris' mythical level, sacrificing minions, has no cooldown. So, Osiris can directly summon a Bonesword Pterosaur when he needs to burst speed. Sacrifice the 12 minions prepared before. Then use the summoning minion skill that has been cooled down. Summon 12 more minions, and sacrifice again. Sacrifice a total of 24 Bonesword Pterosaur minions, and the superposition increases the speed by 1440%, counting the 600% acceleration of the mythical Lord of the Sky. The total speed increase is 2040%. This makes Osiris' fastest speed reach 14 to 15 times the speed of sound. At this speed, it takes less than 3.5 minutes to go from the real Magic City to Kyoto. Just after Qin Feng learned the news and was about to set off, Osiris' huge figure was summoned directly to Qin Feng's side. Quada a sacrifice. Speed plus 7 20%. Summon 12 more minion. Another Quada sacrifice. Speed plus 7 20% again. Boss, do you finally want to experience the feeling of a crow riding a plane? Osiryu laughed loudly, spread his wings, ready to take off at any time. Get lost. You are the crow, Xinfeng cursed, and jumped onto its back.
Let's go!
But Osiryu paused, tilted his head, and looked at Wanya Weiyu beside him. Don't you take the boss lady with you. Xinfeng?
Wanya Weiyu.